Live.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lori, and I am a I am a fourth generation dedicated, born, raised Jehovah's Witness, ex-Jehovah's Witness. I believed in this organization for 58 years, and this is part 3 of an art series that I am doing. And tonight we're doing a live reveal. So my friend and sister, and she has a channel of her own, Knieshia, is going to be with me and running the chat. And if you have questions, put them down, and she'll tell them to me, because I'm not able to do anything but focus in on the screen and the images that I'm going to share. So that is the plan. So, Knieshia, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody. I know I'm tiny on the screen right now, but I really want everybody to focus on Lori and what she's showing us tonight. So that's why I'm so tiny on the screen. But if you're watching on my channel, I'm going to keep putting her channel up. It's also right here on the screen, Faith Outside the Watchtower. You guys have got to, especially if you talk to Jehovah Witnesses, you are a Jehovah Witness, or you're an ex-Jehovah Witness, have anything to do with it. This is a very good channel that I promise you, you do not want to miss. So go on over there, and I thank you everybody who's showing up, and make sure to subscribe to Lori. Okay.
And for my channel, make sure to subscribe to Knieshia, because there's so much to learn from her channel. I'm revealing and going through old articles, and she's a teacher that is just amazing. So I just can't thank her enough. Oh, you're getting previews. I didn't mean to. No fair. Okay. So, okay. I'm sorry. All right. So, anyways, again, for those of you who don't know, I'm Lori. I am not a psychologist. I am a professional artist, but I'm just someone who lived through the direct trauma that affected every aspect of my life. And I realized that it began with this religion. And all my fear and my anxiety, it all made sense when I later discovered why these images bothered me so much. I was terrified. As a child, I was afraid of the dark. I was, crawling into my parents' room when I was 12 and 13 years old under their bed, because they wouldn't have let me in there. They didn't know. So I would crawl in and sleep there during the night and then get out in the morning, because I was so petrified. And we were always taught to be in fear. I believed that the world was coming to an end. I believed that the police or the government were going to come and get us because we were the ones who were going to be persecuted. I'm talking as a child now, as a very young child.
And you had this fear because this is what they were teaching you? Like, this was actually,
Absolutely.
wow.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. They would say in those days, that the government they'll turn on Jehovah's Witnesses. So persecution was a very, very big thing. So, and what I thought my future was, as I talked about in my last video, was that very soon we'd be building houses in we called it the New Order back then. That sounds kind of weird. I noticed they don't use that anymore, but we called it the New Order. So, I thought we were going to be building houses, studying around a tree. The publications were everything we always did. It wasn't grab your Bible, it was grab a publication. So, it just, and we didn't even know if we were going to live through Armageddon, if we stayed faithful enough. You're never assured. You're just constantly hanging on that I hope I'm good enough. I hope that I've made enough meetings. I've talked to enough people in service. It's just, you just never feel safe. And I think, psychologists, they often say we do more to avoid fear and pain than to seek pleasure. And I think that explains so much. It's like I lived in fear that joy was not something that I would ever call my childhood. And it's not my parents' fault. I had
Right.
wonderful parents. It's not their fault. They were programmed by this organization. And when they handed me these books, they had no idea the effect and what it was doing to me. But, I believed that I had no future to dream about. I wasn't going to be an adult. They told us that. They told us that. Don't plan. Don't do anything, don't think about your later years. You're not going to be an adult. The world's going to end.
Now, when was this time frame, Lori? To give the audience a time frame of.
This would have been back in I think that article was 1967 or 69.
Okay, so
That
this is
direct
what they were
article.
teaching in the 60s, and this is
Right.
already the fear that they were having.
And they were looking at 1975 as the probable date. So
Gotcha.
they said, if not 1975, within several years after. And I read the article on the last video. So that was very firmly ingrained. That's all I heard. It's like, that's kind of terrifying. But you also just think, what's the point of anything? I really just very depressing, very, 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 very depressing. That's how deep programming went. Is I never thought about being an adult or how I was going to take care of myself. I just was constantly in fear and stress and anxiety. And when I got older, that fear turned inward. And so then I developed, well, actually, I'll bring this up because I think it's important to know the trauma that religious trauma can cause. And I never linked this up until later. But from a very early age, before eating disorders were ever diagnosed, I had an eating disorder probably before the age of 11 or 12. It was the one thing I could control in my world. I couldn't control my friends. I couldn't control anything. I had no control. And then having to go to the meetings, and you can't understand these watchtowers as a little kid. So what do kids do? They focus in on pictures. More than the adults, I'm sure. And when
Do you
you look
think that's why they do that, Lori? Like, with the pictures, because kids are so, and they trying to get them young? Is that what, like?
Oh, definitely. I believe that's there now for sure. But back then, I don't think they were so concerned about keeping us. It was more just the mental programming. It went deep. It went really, really deep. Everything was black and white. That was it. I mean, safe, unsafe. It just, the thinking, that kind of thinking doesn't just shape your choices, it shapes your brain. So when I talk about these pictures, I'm not saying every image is automatically dark and intentional. Sometimes it's just the human brain looking to see faces. I'm an artist myself, and I've seen this happen with my own art. If I flip it, it's like, well, I didn't plan on that. But my art is not doctrine. It's not something children study over and over. These illustrations were teaching tools, visuals tied to fear, obedience, and control. This isn't random. I feel very comfortable saying this is deliberate because of my experience and what I've lived through and how even I'm triggered looking at them today. I feel so much better with you here, Knieshia. Doing the last one on my own was really hard.
Yeah, and we'll get through this. I mean, just look at this comment here from MCCLX says, as a child in the 80s, I remember thinking every time there was a thunderstorm, thinking it could be Armageddon. The fear was real. Armageddon coming was always a possibility at any time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when we were young, if we would hear the word peace, we would just jump. I mean, we would be so scared. And now it's kind of ironic because, the
Mhm.
talking about peace and everything, and nobody seems alarmed. They're
Is it because of peace and safety?
yeah,
Instead
yeah.
and just
They're
yeah.
telling people now in an upcoming article that, well, I think they brought it up on your live, that
Mhm,
Armageddon might not come, and it's like, you guys,
mhm.
look at the Middle East. I mean,
Right.
just back and forth. But when I was younger, we would always hear peace and it'd be like, oh no, it wasn't, it triggers me. It triggers me. Um, so as I was thinking, when we start looking at these illustrations, the ones many of us grew up with, I want you to remember that it's not just about the images themselves, it's about the emotional priming, the mixed messages, and the fear that keeps people from questioning. Questioning. You are afraid to ask questions. So I am going to be showing one illustration out of this book because I thought it was very, very interesting. But I wanted to show you, if you question, you don't have to mirror this illustration. But this is the Live Forever book, and this is 1982. So this would have been when I was still in. So I know that it looks different now. I've mirrored some of those images. It's all the same. Okay, so when we look at the first one that I wanted to show you is number one. Look at those books. They're backwards. They're backwards. Knieshia, what do you think that's a symbol of?
The demonic, satanic worship, backward symbolism.
Let's go further.
Look
What do
at
we
that.
see in the chair?
You guys put it in the chat real quick what you guys see on that chair. Look at the chair and
I'm not manipulating.
this is real crazy. This is real crazy, guys. When she first sent me this picture the other day, this is what jumped out to me immediately. I hope you guys can see that as clear as I can because it's very obvious. Um, I'm gonna see if somebody gets it real quick before I say it, Lori, because
Okay.
I mean it's right there too. Yeah, and people in the chat are talking about mirroring imagery. Imaging.
Oh, we're
Uh,
gonna do that. That's what I'm gonna reveal tonight. But I just wanted to
exactly.
show you, if you question, I mean, look at this picture. I'm not mirroring. This is a picture of a couple studying the Bible.
Hmm.
There is no reason for that to be there and those books to be backwards.
Hmm.
That's
So
number one.
to the untrained eye, it would look like a Star of David, maybe.
Exactly.
But because we know who we're dealing with here, that is a demonic pentagram, the six-pointed star. Hmm. Now, Lori, what we were talking about earlier, and then someone else has a comment they are asking you here. What we were talking about earlier is, and I really kind of want you to touch on this at some point, so I'm not going to go too much into it.
Okay.
But how these aren't accidents. You don't accidentally paint something or accidentally put in something is dramatic as this, right?
Not as dramatic. I mean, I do have one painting that actually a goat appeared. And I thought, what? I mirrored everything. And I had one painting and I found a goat. Now, I wouldn't actually, it's and there's a reason, you know, it's actually in this painting. I should have showed it on the screen, but I
Oh, I love
didn't.
that one. I have
But
that.
when you mirror it, um, one of the ways, oh, it's because of the texture. I have texture up here, and it was very random. And when I mirrored it, I was floored. There was a goat. There was a goat.
But
So it can happen. But this picture is not dark. And
Mm-mm.
if you combine it with all my artwork, it's not a repeated pattern.
Right.
It's not something that, kids we're looking at their materials all the time.
Right.
When people purchase a painting, they probably walk by it and, I'm not saying that paintings can't do something, but if you just mirror one of my paintings and you find a goat, that's different. So
Right.
it's actually the only one out of everything that I tried that I saw one. But it can happen. So, and that's a normal part of the brain to look for faces,
Yeah, for sure, and that's been studied, well studied,
right?
that we automatically look for eyes, nose, like shapes, specific shapes of faces and everything in art.
Right, right,
So yeah, so that's definitely understandable for sure, and
right.
MCC is asking you a question, Lori.
Oh, yeah.
Does Lori remember the Smurf thing? I went through the
Yes.
Smurf panic and had all my toys burned by my parents. Talk about traumatized. I was told these things were going to come alive by demons. Wow, that's actually really sad.
That is sad. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. And I shouldn't even laugh. What it brings back is my oldest daughter. My girls were pretty young. I faded very quickly due to a life event. I didn't question the organization. I just had a traumatic episode, and it's neither here nor there. But for 22 years, I thought I was outside of God's organization. Never thought to pray. But my girls, it was my husband at that time had left very suddenly. He was having an affair, and it shook me. He wasn't a witness, but it just totally shook me, and I was terrified of this man. So what I was going to say was my daughter at that time, my oldest was 13. No, she was turning 16. It was 2 days before her birthday. He left, and he gave her the keys to my car for a birthday present. And then he threw his wedding ring on the bed of my younger daughter, who was only like 6. So at that time, the meetings just kind of cut off. I wasn't functioning very well. I just had to try to live my new life and protect my girls, and it was just hard. So I went that long road about trolls. My daughter, my oldest to this day, I heard at the meeting, you shouldn't have trolls either. She loved trolls. She loved them. I wasn't a really hard Jehovah's Witness parent. I didn't do holidays. I didn't do Christmas. But boy, the troll thing scared me. And I thought, we got to throw them away. And she was heartbroken. She was heartbroken. She loved these trolls. And it was the hardest thing I had to do. And I think about all the things they took from my childhood, from my girls' childhood. It's ridiculous. So yeah.
That's actually really sad and pretty sick that they kind of instill in parents' brain this fear, and then the parents are then instilling fear in the children, and then the
Right.
fear are instilling it in their siblings, and it's like this ongoing chain link. That's all I'm
It
seeing
is.
is when you're talking like this
It is. Although
weird.
my oldest girl, she didn't pick up on the fear, and she just never let me forget it. It's like it made me throw my trolls away. So I got her a big troll for her like 30th birthday.
Wow.
But yes, and the parents don't realize it because we think there's more danger in them having it because we believe these men. It's if I realized, actually I was protective about the pictures because I knew the art bothered me, so I never read my children these books. That's why I say I was more lenient. I'd let them do other things at the hall. I was an elder's daughter. I had to be in the publications. I had to be either copying the words from the publications or anything to do with the organization. And that meant through all the assemblies, through all those meetings, we had 3 back then. I mean, my life was just focused in on this stuff. And then activities at home would usually be centered around, something of this. So, it becomes your life. And that's why I go as far to say that this is priming. It's
Yeah.
priming in illustration, it's priming in songs, it's priming in obedience, it's priming you in every way. And it's wrong. It's wrong.
I think that Lori is you kind of give me goosebumps just thinking about this. It's kind of scary. I can see why this like doing this stuff like makes you nervous because it just gives me the creeps. And this guy is right. He says they make you extreme. They make you
We
extreme.
do.
That is very, very true.
We
Uh,
do.
but as someone who has been, like I was a sexual victim when I was a little kid, right? The fear that someone can instill in you is insane. And I
Absolutely.
cannot imagine a lifestyle, okay? Not just someone who's like, making you a predator or who's a predator coming to
You
you, but
need
like a
to become
lifestyle. This
right.
is crazy, Lori.
Right. And I, I've mentioned it in my testimony and things like that. But yeah, I went through a lot of different experiences as a young child. And when I was a teenager, I had no boundaries. None. I mean, older men, I was like 16 and they were like 40. And, it just, I wasn't getting paid. It just, they were either athletes. My dad was around athletics a lot, and they were athletes that, I could call them out today. And it's like, it was a long time ago. They'd be very old, but maybe they're dead. No, probably not. But the grooming, you are set up to, to never tell.
Hmm.
And, you know, how that's another thing that just popped in my head. The governing body decides your fate, whether it be the simplest thing or something big they usually try to hide and pay off. But yet, you, this thought just came into my mind and I'm trying to verbalize it. You aren't in control, they throw you out. So, get what I'm saying? They decide
Right.
your fate. You have no control over yours. You can believe something different, you're out. Does that sound like the Bible? No.
Right. And real quick, everybody who's watching on my channel, again, I don't want to interrupt, but please go subscribe. The channel is called Faith, and it's right here on the screen too. Faith Outside the Watchtower. This is my really good friend Lori. She was a dedicated, born in Jehovah Witness for 58 years, and she is, oh man, the stuff that she's doing on her channel is literally helping so many people. But she's exposing this stuff because of how harmful it is. And it's just that every time I see your guys' stories, Lori, just listening to your thing, your past and just the trauma, you just add fuel to my fire. I want all you guys to know that because this is such a danger. And we haven't even got to all the images. We just started. But
Right.
this is such a dangerous doctrine. It's far beyond just like a hobby, right? Like this is a whole lifestyle
This
that
is a complete
things
control of your mind.
there you go. Literally
Mhm.
your mind, your dreams, your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, everything. So please go subscribe. Do not forget. In fact, get off my channel real quick.
Oh, you don't
Go
have to
over
do
to her
that.
channel. Go to Faith Outside the
Don't
Watchtower.
want anybody to miss anything.
They'll be right back. Look, I better see that number drop from everybody watching. I better see it drop. There you go. I'm starting to see it drop. Good job, guys. Go get off of here
Thank
and go
you.
subscribe
Thank
because you don't
you.
want to miss it. Okay, Lori, go ahead.
Okay. And I want to bring out, that's the other thing that's not normal. And I admire everybody who's taking the courage to step out and talk because they will come after you. People think, oh, that's crazy. No, it's not. They won't, nobody's going to kill me, but they will do everything to shut my life down if they could. And so speaking about this is dangerous, because if I was a witness, they would I've never been disfellowshipped, but if, they could cause a lot of trouble within family and different things, and just cut me off for speaking my truth, what I lived. And that's wrong. That is wrong. And I admire everyone out there that is taking the step, because I did not want to start a channel. I really didn't want to start a channel. I was so scared. But it's something God moved me to do. He really did. I really tried to put it off. And it's like all this stuff. I have all these books and I can see everything that's wrong. Yes. And then with this art series, it's like, oh my goodness, this truly is one of the most terrifying things I have ever done. Not only reliving it, but knowing they're going to be really upset.
Mm-hmm. So I'm so proud of you, Lori, because I know how hard that was.
Really, it's prayer. It's not me. I thank God. I thank you. I thank all my friends who have really just stayed by me through every challenging time. But before I move on, I want to talk about the Watchtower actually speaks about the pictures, and that is an issue I want to bring up. But before we do, Knieshia, I just wanted to pull up those scriptures. Notice at this Live Forever book, I could get the book, but to be a subject, I can't remember what the last page said, to be a subject of God's government. That's kind of important. What exactly did they say? This was page, becoming a subject of God's government. So the sentence says, oh, so to become a subject of God's government, you must learn this language by taking in knowledge of Jehovah and his kingdom arrangement. And they quote Colossians 1, 9 and 10. Do you want to read that, Knish? I don't have it up.
I will. I have it right here. I left it up. For this cause, or actually, let me put on New King James. It's easier for me to read. Go to 9 and 10. For this reason, we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you and to ask that you may be filled with the knowledge of his will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that you may walk worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing him, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. Incredible, man.
So how do they tie it to become a subject of the kingdom arrangement? How does that tie in with that scripture? And in fact, I loved when you go over to Colossians 2, 1.
And that one says
2, 1 or 2, 9.
I think you said 2, 9 earlier. No. They wouldn't have used that one.
They would not have used that one.
No, they wouldn't have used that one.
And I don't even know what the NWT says.
Yeah, because Colossians 2:9 says, for in him dwells all the fullness of the Godhead bodily. So they wouldn't have used that one.
All the other translations are wrong. Only theirs is right. So I don't know if you want me to move on, or did you want to read the other scripture there? Proverbs 2, 1 through 5, or should I move on?
No. We're going to read God's word.
Proverbs, okay, I love it.
2.
I feel calmer. 2, 1 through 5.
So 2, 1 through 5 says, my son, and it did it in the KJV. Hold on. My son, if you receive my words and treasure my commands within you, so that you incline your ear to wisdom and apply your heart to understanding. Yes, if you cry out for discernment and lift up your voice for understanding, If you seek her as silver and search for her as for hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. I can't stand this, Lori. I can't stand what they do when they use these scriptures out of context to try and fit their narrative. It is so demonic.
It's terrible. I can get a pen that'll show up. I was going to underline this. This knowledge can lead to eternal life. This means everlasting life. Wait, where was I going to underline? Oh, heck. Today, some human governments require that those who receive citizenship know something about the history of their government, as well as facts regarding its operation. Oh, let's look at facts, shall we? I love to look at facts and history. I love that. If you are to become its subject, its subject, this knowledge can lead to eternal life. I mean, everything is directing you to the publications, even this picture, the Bible. It looks like they're reading out of a publication and the Bible is in the background, but I could be wrong. But anyways, let's just have some fun. This one I did last minute, so it's not as clean as the others because this bothered me so much. When I was on my walk today, I came home, I'm like, there's something there. I just could not stand this picture. And so these are a little bit sloppy. But when you mirror this picture, I guess when, you see the other goats, but look at how, I guess I have to show you something else.
Yeah, draw it for the audience if you can.
Let me go to this one.
There you go. That one. Yeah, I can see that
one. Okay, wait. I want to make sure I'm above this layer. And look at, if you look in here, can that show up on the screen? Do you see that?
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
See, there's a nose. My hands just shake when I look at this stuff. There's a nose here. And it's almost got an image. And that can't even be another picture running through the page. No, because it's letters. So there's another image there that clearly is not letters. And when you zoom it out,
it's crazy how many layers they got going on here.
Exactly. You zoom it out, you'll see what I mean connecting the goats once we move on to the others. But I just thought this was astounding because I thought this was weird. I'm like, why do they have these two little frames there? And then the eyes are right back here. It is just so clear. It's scary. And we were talking too before. Now this is a very mild example. I was just shocked because this one just, like I said, I did it last minute. Here's another one.
Now this one's extremely clear to me right here.
What set me off is her hair. Look at her hair. If I leaned over like that, proportionately, that hair does not belong there. Her proportions are off. Do you see what I mean? Those curls right in here. They're not, that doesn't work. There's so much proportionately off with their art. But when you look at deeper into the image, that becomes comes part. I don't know why my pen's not working.
People are saying they can see it.
Can they? Okay, yeah. Great. Because it's just not going. So that's awesome.
It does. He said it looks like a spider. Dude, that's really interesting, Todd. You say that. Like a spider, which is also another satanic image. I don't know if you guys know that. But the spider, it does look like a spider right there.
And
But
it
yeah,
looks
look
like
at the goat's face right there too.
fingers to me too, holding on to the back, if you want to look at it another way.
Yeah.
The
He
fingers.
also said that. He said, sitting between
Oh,
them and hands grabbing his back.
that's exactly, yep. I can't
Mhm.
see the comments, you guys. I'm sorry. So, I mean, this is just, there's so much wrong. It's just amazing. It's really scary. Was there a last one on that one I was going to show?
Wait,
I,
yes, the lamp, please. The
I
lamp.
get so wrapped up. Oh, okay. This was the other mirrored version of that picture, which I didn't get perfectly because it was a last minute deal. So you were interested in the lamp.
Mhm.
If you look closely at the lamp, you can make out another shape. And you think this is all kind of nitpicky, but it's not. This is what kids do. Kids are sensitive to this stuff, and some people might never see it. But regardless, the tones, the hues, everything about their artwork is off. And the lights, like directing you directly, where do you look? At the publication. Look at the publication. That's where your worship goes. So look for that in the upcoming pictures of where the light directs you.
Okay.
It's really astounding.
Okay.
Okay. I think that was it for this one. Now, the second part I just wanted to read to you was put out because another person, I won't name his name right now, and I don't know if he was the one that was disfellowshipped, but I imagine he was, and I don't care about being disfellowshipped, I care about the impact on my family. But this is from the Watchtower, which I have. It says, would you spread a rumor? And I just want to address a couple things in here so that we're real clear at we're not spreading rumors. So this is directly about the art. So let me see if I can keep up here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just want to address the questions. Let's see. Certainly, the rumor concerning the Society's publication was harmful, the one about the pictures, as well as slanderous to the zealous Christians who work long hours producing artwork to make the magazines, brochures, and books so attractive. This was as ridiculous as it would be to say that God, in creating celestial bodies, deliberately formed the appearance of a man in the moon. Somehow that doesn't make sense to me, but that's okay. So then it talks on about how does a rumor start, and it talks about news and sensationalism and that type of thing. This is not clickbait. This is stress. This is stress. This is a lifelong stress. This is not for any other reason but to warn others. It's not easy to come out and do this. So we can mark that one off. And page 3, get my thing off here. Okay. They said, so how can you determine whether a story is true or merely a rumor? Here are some things to bear in mind when someone shares a choice piece of information with you. Okay. Who told you the story? Someone who was born, raised, dedicated, lived 58 years, suffered a debilitating depression, was essayed many times, was, I can't even tell you all the trauma that has rooted from this organization. And, yes, additional events happened in my life, but boy, I was set up for them. Okay, so the source of the story makes a big difference as to whether it is likely to be accurate or not. Okay, so we've cleared that up. I know the organization. I know it well. I still am trying to get the fear out of my bones. Was the one who told you the story in a position to know the facts? I think so. I was an elder's daughter. I was behind the scenes at assemblies. I know everything about the inner workings of the Kingdom Hall. I wasn't at Bethel or that level, but we had Bethelites stay with us. I know this organization. I know it well. Is the story slanderous? If a story detracts from the good name of some person, profession, race, or organization, treat it with extreme caution. Slander is slander and lies are lies, whoever the victims are. I hate that. I hate that because look at all the children that are victims and they protect the abuser.
Can I point out something? Yeah. I'm reading everything that what's on the screen. Oh wait, no, go back to where were you?
I had forgot to turn the page.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So down at the bottom right-hand corner where it says, was the one who told you the story in position to know the facts? That right there is not just control, but I can see purely demonic influence behind this. The whole thing, period. I'm looking as you're talking, I'm reading through the whole article, literally. But listen to that one more time. Was the one who told you the story in a position to know the facts? That sounds like Satan's voice in the Garden of Eden.
Isn't it scary? Because that also goes to when you are sorry, it's so hot back here. When you're also a little kid, you're like, they won't believe me, you know? Or, there was one time where something happened and I did tell my parents and they just got me out. But it was never talked about. And the one that harmed me was a witness and a family member and so was another one when I was like 3 or 4, and it was actually a woman. I never told my mom that one until a couple years ago, and I asked her if such a thing could have happened with somebody, and she's like, oh no, not. And she named the person, but she thought that because they came into being a witness, it would be safe to leave me with her. And her heart was broke when she realized I went through the same thing that others in the family had experienced before she was a witness. But now that she was a witness, she was somehow safe.
Protected.
Those are the things that screw up your judgment. You don't think right. You just don't think right. If you know people have a history of something, don't think religion is going to just patch it up.
Oh, it makes me want to puke.
It's really alarming. And then this, 2-witness rule just is ridiculous, although they've reframed it a little in the elders book. But I'm telling you, my dad was an elder. If he was an elder today, he was disfellowshipped. He left the congregation. He didn't grow up in being a witness. But if my dad was an elder today, he would be out. My dad was an engineer. He was very smart. He was very protective. I mean, lawsuits and things like that. If you are an elder today and the society gives you directions to not report something or just gently encourage the family that, If you want to call the police or go to the authorities, you're free to do so. And what? If you're an elder, you better pick up that phone and call the police yourself. Because on one hand, you want the church rights from like Norway, you want the same liberties for the tax credits and everything. But then the clergy, the elders who can marry somebody, they don't have mandatory reporting.
But this is what I don't understand, honestly. I don't understand this part. Okay? And this is how deep this tells you how demonic this is. I want to point out two other things, and I want to talk about this real quick. I'll make it fast, Lori.
I'm not worried about it.
But what would be think about, audience, think about how deep this fear goes into people, that a child can tell you that they're being assaulted and you won't say anything. Like, I'm shaking right now. Like, that tells you the depth is not just, oh, I went to a Baptist church, a Pentecostal church, a non-denominational church, and they did me wrong and they had a rumor about me, some church hurt thing. This is far, like, deeper than that. And then this is, I'm listening to you and I'm watching the page. Laura, you are an artist. Artwork jumps out at you. I'm the word gal. Words jump out to me. Everything sticks out to me with words. So right here, starting on the left bottom page of the page here, where it says separate the truth from the false. This is a common thing that the devil himself, you hear me, guys? The actual devil himself does. Okay. He will give you a couple of verses, which he did here. He brought up Jericho. Okay. Rahab with Jericho, and said, oh, it was good. Here's good stuff. Here's another good one. Okay, Jesus performing the signs and the rumors going about in the land, and this is a good thing. And then after they give you two verses, then here comes the deception. And then just when it's starting to get a little bit too murky, they're going to give you, at the bottom, Acts 20, verse 28. So your mind is being tricked to think that what they are saying is biblical. And I'm telling you right now, any audience watching, and you're a Jehovah Witness watching, I'm telling you right now, you are being played. I say this all the time, but you are being played like a trumpet.
I would never have believed it. I really wouldn't have. I never would have thought that this goes as deep as it does. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for it. And it astounds me. And now that I research, they don't want you to research. They don't want you to, go into a Christian store, because that's false religion. They don't want you to research their own publications. That's why they're disappearing. They're slowly disappearing. They're changing some wording on the site, like publications I have and then ones on the site don't match up. They're taking out years and dates. But it's very deceitful. And we're taught to be honest. We're not taught like that. This is pure evil, and I can prove that. I have the publication, and look at the site. You never said anything. You just slip it out. And the thing about not telling was always this thing about Jehovah's name. We don't want to disgrace Jehovah's name. So that was drilled into my head. Drilled that we don't, not just from my parents, from anyone, we don't want to jeopardize the organization or its good name.
Oh, this stuff makes me so mad, Lori. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it.
I believed all this. I never second guessed. I look back now and I think, how? But that's after years of therapy and coming out on the other side going, wow. And I really wanted to find God. I really wanted to find God.
That's what makes me upset, Lori, what you just said right now. Because you wanted to find God. This is making me so upset. Oh man. You wanted to find God, and people are so demonic that this is, I mean, I'm reading all these comments of people who are Jehovah Witness or ex-Jehovah Witness,
I wish
listening
I
to
could
you and just
swim.
hearing nothing but horror stories. There's nothing good
Oh,
coming out of this, and it just makes me so mad because that's not God. And then
it's not
what
God.
you're just saying his name, about his name. I mean, I'm
Right.
sorry to cut you off. It's just this making
So,
me so upset. I'm getting like really emotional right now.
well, it's taught to us very young. And that's why we're so like the New World Translation. It's the only Bible that replaced Jehovah's name. Yahweh doesn't appear in the New Testament. Jesus does. They took Jesus out and put Jehovah in, but yet they use the I want to say NYT. I don't know why. The New World Translation, NWT. Short circuiting up here. The NWT. It that's what kind of from a little girl. Well, our Bible's the best because we replaced the name of Jehovah. Who the men who thought they had a scholarly degree. They didn't. They didn't know true Greek. I mean, the testimonies, you can look up the trials. They were, tested on the stand, and they didn't know what they were doing.
Crazy.
Bibles need to be really interpreted by very scholarly men, and it's upsetting. It's really upsetting. Did you have another comment or?
No, I'm not gonna say. I'm so upset. I
I'm
don't even.
sorry.
That's
I'm
not
sorry.
you. Don't. Why you can't say sorry? No, I just. You know how many millions of people are in this, Lori? I mean,
And
that's
they're
what I think
devoted.
about when I see this
I
stuff. Like,
know. It makes me cry. When I first woke up, I really thought, I could switch my life out for my family. And I was just praying because I'm like, I can't believe they won't listen. They won't listen to me. I
yeah.
can show them out of the Bible. And it's just like, it's such a hold. And they're so devoted and so dedicated. And they think it's to Jehovah God, but they're dedicated to an organization of men.
No,
Exactly
literally
what
to the
Torah.
demons.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, I feel very comfortable saying that now. I never could have done that before. But now I know. Now I know. And even inside, I can feel how stressful this is. I mean, I'm pretty laid back now from all those years of, PTSD. This riles me up because there are so many victims out there and there are so many people damaged that are just thrown to the side
Like
as
trash.
but not even like trash. They're being disciplined in love because if the family doesn't talk to them, they'll want to return to Jehovah.
Mm-mm,
So it's disciplining with love.
mm-mm. Oh,
There's people out there non-aliving themselves because they feel so hopeless. That's how dangerous this is. And you've got a lot of kids that were born and raised and know nothing else. Nothing else. For 58 years, I knew nothing else. I truly didn't. I didn't even pick up a Bible in a hotel room because I thought, it's not the New World Translation. It's probably not any good. I mean, that's how deep they get.
this is crazy. This is
You
crazy.
know, I would not throw away a publication because I thought it was so valuable. And then at the same point, then years later, my mom was told to burn all the publications. And I thought, what? But they were trying to erase history, but they haven't done it. God's in charge. We're not in charge. God's in charge. And he's revealing this stuff through many people. Through many people. I think it's so amazing. He doesn't need an organization
No.
on earth. I mean, why?
Mm-mm.
Absolute power corrupts. And that's what the governing body has, is absolute power.
One of the people in the comments says, where else would I go is what my mom says.
Oh my goodness. That is exactly what my mom says. Exactly. Word for word. Where would I go? I'm like, I've said that.
Man.
It's like, Mom, it's not where, it's to who. To who? The Bible says it's very simple. You know, when Peter went to, I've got it right, Peter? I always get Peter. Peter saw the eunuch on the side of the road. I mean, do you really read that scripture and understand? Peter?
Philip.
Philip.
Mhm.
I always get the name wrong. I knew I had it wrong. Philip. Oh, okay. So Philip is on the road and he goes to talk to him. And he doesn't start a Bible study with him. He talks to the man. The man had asked him, how am I to understand what I am reading? Well, after a short conversation, they went and got baptized. They didn't go through some sort of publication or have to belong to a group or anything like that. And then Philip was gone. And then that man learned. He was left. That's the model of the Holy Spirit. That's the model of, it's amazing when you pray and ask for help from the right God with true intent, you will start to understand. Don't get triggered by words. Don't get triggered by, the things that we're taught. Whoops, false religion. You shut down. You're putting up walls around yourself. Don't do that. It is almost worse for a Jehovah's Witness to try to reverse all of their thinking than if you were brand new and knew nothing. I like to teach people who don't know anything about art. They get so, creative, and it's wonderful fun. And rather than maybe like if I work with an artist that's, more established or something, they've got a real rigid way of thinking. And I'm more like, give it a try,
Right.
And that's what this organization does, is it ties you up with rules and regulations. And the whole, I could make hundreds of hours worth of videos in a publication alone. I have many of these, but all of it is about devotion to the organization. Devotion. Loyalty. It's just in fear. And if you're not doing it right, it's really, it's very awful, because there's so many wonderful people, so trapped, and they genuinely believe. And my mom says the same thing, and she went as far as to say that she will die as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, which but I think the biggest thing we can do is pray.
Mm-hmm.
Pray, because they truly are being so deceived. They don't realize it. So I pray for my mom constantly, and for other family members that I know personally, and for all who are in this organization, because they're taking away from you the very one thing that you need, and putting a wall around you.
Not just a wall around you, like
Building.
a separation between you and God for eternity, guys. Like, I'm trying not to get upset again. This is so ridiculous that they have so many people fully deceived, all the way deceived. And I hope whoever's watching, I hope Jehovah, God, please, I beg you, a Jehovah Witness is watching right now.
I really prayed that someone would hear this. Someone would wake up from it. Someone would be ready, because it's certainly not, anyone close to me. So I just pray that someone is out there questioning, could it? And they're making so many doctrinal changes. I wonder, for the person who asked about their mom said to where would they go? I mean, there's so many scriptures about, it's simple. Go to Jesus. It's like, you baptism isn't about a long study and attending meetings and then answering 100 and some questions and then you qualify for baptism. That's not the Bible's way.
That's crazy, man.
It's not. God wants you to come. He wants you to come to him. And it's only through Jesus' name we're saved. And yet, born again and Jesus are trigger words that, witnesses, they believe in Jesus, they think. They just got the wrong Jesus.
I got the wrong Jesus. Y'all, Jehovah Witnesses watching, stay around. Please, I'm begging you, do not hop off. As you're listening to this too, Jehovah Witnesses, I beg you, just to listen to what is. We're gonna move on. We're gonna get on to the rest of the stuff, but I beg you to stay and pay attention. Don't come in with these blinders on or this pre-made up mindset. Listen to what she is saying, please. I will try to be quiet as long as possible for my audience, but I need you guys to listen to what she is saying. Okay, at least give it a chance. Okay, Lori, the floor is yours, ma'am.
All right. Well, picking up with, again, this is part 3. So we are on like the 18th, 19th illustration. But again, this is a children's book. And if you've watched the previous parts, you've seen all the images so far. This is a children's book. And what do we see here? Number 1, right in front are 2 fierce animals that the rain is hitting diagonally. The rain doesn't even match up with the way the water's going. It's very specific. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The ark, which we talked about in my last video, clearly represents the organization. So what's put in front of you is safety is only in that ark. If you're outside, this is you. The mood, the colors. This isn't the most impressive one, but I'm just showing you how the light goes. And that direction is very, I don't like it. And I see faces in here, but I'm not even going to push it. I see faces. That red line is not a line by me. That's them. And then there's a face above that, if you can see it pretty clear.
Now I see it. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
So, I wouldn't say that's like the best one, but they do get, wait, let me hide this one. Where was I? Okay, go back to here. Do you see the goat-like image?
I see it. Sorry, the baby just ran in here.
Okay. Yep.
I see it.
I mean, regardless, again, if you watch the first video, we talked about priming, and when you draw below, I have nothing to show. When you draw below on a piece of paper, the bottom portion, it's called below the level of awareness. And the subconscious actually picks up on that, especially in children. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I read about this and I learned about it in studying art. And so it can be used for good. It can be used for bad. It can be used for control. It can be used for many things, advertising, all kinds of things. But what lays on those borders is very powerful. Likewise with music. And here is, now this one in the middle.
Wow, that's crazy.
This here, I want to put this X there because that's not them. That's not them. That was my page rip. But
in the water down below at the bottom of the page.
Exactly. You see it. You see it. And this lines up pretty darn good to make an arrow, which is really odd. And then to duplicate, it's just, this is demonic art. It is. It is. Any artist would look at this and say that it's off. That's not right. So if this keeps happening by accident, if I went through all my pictures and I kept seeing goat-like images, I would be concerned. If I see one here or there, but it's happening in every image. And I'm not even talking about the SA things that I see.
That one's very obvious in this one. I mean, this one is extremely obvious.
And I think, the angle of the arc when you mirror it is really powerful too. I talked about corners, edges, like the logo. I used to design logos a lot. And I thought it was very interesting that they chose a box, jwh.org, in the blue box. It's within the walls of the organization. For a creator's mind, you're thinking about symbols and what do they represent. So if I were to draw a box, that's just something that bothered me. So, all right, that is this one. Let me go down. Let's see. Here's the other side of that page. I mean, there's nothing good about this. It just, and you read some of the words. The giants were gone now. No more would they be around to hurt people. All of them had died, along with their mothers. I mean, you read the story, and it's like, what's good here? This just triggers anxiety. It's scary. It's absolutely scary. Let's mirror it. Look at that lightning bolt. Horns. This is not normal. This is not normal. And those diagonals. Oh. And this one is, wait, go here. Just disturbing. It's just, do you see those waves? That rain is not right. It's not. I don't care how lousy of an artist you are. That's not how you would do rain. A 2-year-old could do rain better.
Now, hold on. Zoom back in that closer for me, Lori. I'm trying to... Because one thing I'm seeing repeat in the... and I could be tripping, but I've seen this in every image, is the triangles.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Always. 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 Which I don't think, well, I know for a fact, because I wasn't aware of, I was just told what occult imagery was. Get rid of that album, get rid of the Smurf, get rid of the troll, whatever. I didn't really know a lot about what was occult imagery. I didn't even really know about the all-seeing eye, or, some of these things that appear in their publications. And then they say, well, we're talking about it, so yeah, we're going to show it. No, it's like you talk about it all the time and you're putting it in subliminally in other images. It's just wrong.
Go up closer to that rock on the... over on the on the rock itself.
I can go back to just a single page.
Either way, it just looks like there's some things in the rocks as well. I'm trying to just make sure, because I could be tripping, but
no, it's definitely off. I mean, this person is clearly drowning here. And the hands and it's just so tense. It's so tense. This is artwork that's not calming and peaceful. It's
Mhm.
not a bedtime story, and yet this is where they teach core doctrine to children. Now I know they've updated it, but I know a lot of these pictures are the same.
Mhm.
It's same tones, same, when you look at a picture and you combine colors, they stir up feelings and anxiety, and these bright contrasts, really.
Now, hold on. Look at the baby's head. Is that blood on the baby's head, or is
It
that
looks like
hair?
it's
Okay, it's
hair,
hair.
maybe a
Now it
braid.
looks like hair.
That
Okay.
looks like it's maybe a braid, but I mean, it's just, I find it so sad that, I'm sure there's some other, there's an
Yeah,
artist
that's what I saw right
studied
there.
the occult symbols, and see, witnesses won't know them. Witnesses won't know them, but they're here.
But it's interesting though that they would have a snake out of all things on in the image with the animals. So
Good point. Good point. Why, yeah, it's like almost connected to the tail. Did I turn that the other way too? There's just so much in these. It gets so exhausting trying to
yeah,
look through these. It's just
yeah, that's what I
incredible.
saw too, Chris. That face near the knee. I don't know. It's just layers upon layers upon
It
layers. It just
is.
never.
There's something in there that drives me crazy. Um,
That's what I saw.
there's a publication where there's actually a face that's coming out of a hand. I'll,
Mm.
I'll find it. It's so clear. It's like, but see, that kind of looks like something like that to me. All right, so that is the second page of Noah's Ark, and I keep jumping back. Okay, this one is really interesting. You would think the dove on, whoops, the dove on the corner of the page. What could go wrong with a dove up
Sweetheart, let
in
me
the
see the
corner?
marker. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had him on mute.
See how little that is? It's almost like, remember we talked about the first page when we went back and they talked about the very beginning? It's like, what is this? What is that? Well, that's how I feel. Sorry, I lose my voice. About the dove. The dove should be peaceful and more. And these clouds are off. They're off. The angle of that leaf is off. It's just not a happy picture. And this is supposed to be when the dove comes back to the ark and, the olive branch. I was blown away with this one because I really didn't expect anything. But look at that. You see the eyes?
I do, dude.
And
This is creepy. I don't even want to look at this. This is so
I'm going to
creepy.
change the hue and the contrast, but I wanted you to see it in true color form.
That's
This
creepy.
is nuts. I draw clouds all the time. Never would I get that.
Oh my, this is creeping me out.
You see that? Now wait, I'm going to show you changing the hues because I don't touch the colors on these. But this one I did change, get myself lost here. Adjusted hues, this is one of them.
That's scary. Oh my goodness. Oh, don't go close. That's so scary. That is freaky.
And notice how the dove now, it just, I can't even describe what I see. It's like I see eyes that are so clear that it
I
makes me
mean, literally, these are the most clearest.
go one more level.
That's creeping me out, dude.
Let's see.
I'm serious. That is creeping me out.
I really, I'm that's not my mission, but it's so undeniable. How does that just happen in clouds? Usually clouds are done, by watercolor or colored pencil or, anything.
Yeah.
But how do you get those sharp shapes in a cloud?
Shauna says that's too much detail to be a mistake.
Thank you, Shauna. That is so true. That is so true. I would venture to say I would scan in on any of my paintings with clouds. There's no way.
Oh, this is freaking me out. I can't
Way
look at it.
you would see that. All right, let's get rid of that one. Okay, this is now the first rainbow. Again, think about the context of this story. The first rainbow. Look at what the kids see.
No, get out of here.
I mean, this is why it's so upsetting. And if we go through the images, I mean, do parents really understand? They'd see these pictures and it's like, oh, isn't that pretty? No, because there's so much gore, and pain and suffering. And, we talked about all these in the previous videos. And this little one I talked about in my last one. This little goat, this bothered me so bad. And when I mirrored it, there was another goat within the goat. So the whole middle made a third goat. What was supposed to be an ear running off the page made a third goat. Absolutely terrifying. Terrifying. But these are what our kids are seeing. How is that connecting them to God? So the land was all dried off, and Noah and his family began a new life outside the ark. That looks wonderful. Now also, notice her hands. Try to do
I
that.
just looked at that Freemason hand. Yeah.
I mean, I can't even get my hand in a comfortable. I don't think I've ever done that.
No, that's a Freemason. I'm going to show you. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Let me see if I can find
I
it.
can see you.
That's the first thing that I caught my eye right there was her hands.
That is too odd.
Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can share this because I don't want to drop down what we're seeing here. You guys can look at, just go Freemason folded hand symbols, and that's one of the folded hands. See the thumb on top? The other hand's thumb on top. I wish you guys can see my mouse. Placed across this thumb, the flat angle thumb, and then the two fingers folded over and the other fingers folded under. Yeah. My family, I haven't told you guys this, but my family on my mom's side are Freemasons.
Really?
Yeah.
I had never even really known what they were till I researched. But there's a lot happening here. A lot happening. So I thought that was really, really bizarre.
I'll be right back.
Not okay. Now I'll do the first reveal. Wait, was there something else on this page? Okay, here's the first mirror of the first image. When you put those together, I want Knieshia to see this. I can't see y'all comments or read or I'm only seeing my screen, and Knieshia is streaming from her channel to my channel. So if anyone's in my chat, I hope that I think Knieshia sees them. I don't know how all this works. I've been very scared to go live because it's so, I don't know, but a lot. But now you see a goat-like image too. And it's always that same goat with the floppy ears. And if you're not seeing it, let me see if I can get a pen to work here. Ink, let's try. Here is, what is up? Transparency? color. There we go. I want red. Sorry, y'all. These are the things that I like to edit out. Am I on a different layer? I'm gonna get rid of that one. I don't know what that is. Okay. Come on. Okay. Gosh. Just keep switching back on me. Need something else. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. You cannot be serious. You're really going to do this. Oh, I wish I could see what you all were saying. Because I see it. I want to draw it. And for some reason, it's not cooperating. Oh, because you're not on the top layer. Ta-da! Thank you. Okay. This stuff just shakes me up. It absolutely shakes me up. But look at, it's always these floppy ears. Things that you wouldn't necessarily say, oh, goat, but this is a continual shape pattern that keeps showing up. And then you take into account those hands. And then in the middle down here, now I was off a little bit, ignore that black. But isn't that just crazy? And then the deer, it's really.
Wait. Turn that back around.
Sorry.
Zoom back in there.
I was just showing them the goat-like image that I keep talking about with the, the shape, the form, the floppy ears, the head.
This is intense, Lori.
It's undeniable. It's undeniable. And that's not even going into all the deeper layers if you just look at the picture itself. But when you mirror it, it's just so upsetting. And then there's another view of this one.
It's right there.
Look at that.
Wow.
Now, how does that keep happening in every single photo? Why? If it was one here or there, bad artist, I don't know. But why does a particular theme follow through? Now we're on 21 images, and I can pick something out in every picture. This isn't slander. You all have damaged us. We have had to deal with this trauma that, if you don't have God when you come out of this organization, I think, going back to that question, where would they go? I think that's one of the biggest fears is they're so drilled. We were so drilled that God has an organization. That is drilled in our heads. Now think about it. This organization was started by a 16-year-old, where's one of his publications? A 16-year-old kid, 17 maybe 17. This is just one of the 7 volumes of studies in the scriptures. This 17-year-old didn't like church. He didn't like organized religion. He didn't like the concept of hell. So it's not like he was looking into the Bible and questioning things, this young man did not like what he saw in the Bible. So then he goes, this isn't the publication with the pyramids. So then he goes on into Egyptian pyramidology and Egyptian culture. He's measuring the Egyptian pyramids, forgetting the date for 1914. That's the original doctrine. Actually, there's a few dates before that. 18. There's so many numbers, I really get confused. The world was supposed to end so many times. But we look at Charles Taze Russell, and we always think of him as an old man. He died when he was 64. I'm 61. But he started all this when he was 17 years old. By 24 or 25, he had the Watchtower Corporation, Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, and then they directly quoted that they were the organization designated by God. Can I get this right? Revelation, I don't know. It's in the last video with the article. They said that themselves. They also say that Charles Taze Russell, back in his tribute in 1917, was comparable to the Apostle Paul. I have the article. And they said that he was ruling. They could assume that he was now ruling beyond the veil. That's where you want your doctrine to come from? A kid who didn't like something? If we saw that today, we would immediately say cult. No. I mean, we just would run. But somehow we're so ingrained with this false doctrine that it has become part of our very being. From a 17-year-old kid who really wasn't looking for the Bible and what it said. He did form Bible studies and, studied the Bible. But he disregarded things he didn't like. And then Rutherford came along, and he was all about control, and he was a lawyer, and he was a businessman, and he took it next level. And that's when organization really started coming in, and then he tightened down the control and got people out, doing door to door, and this is crazy where this came from. But here we are in 2025, and we don't think about where it started, where the roots of this began. Because if you ask any witness, I know my Bible. I know my Bible better than you. How arrogant. I feel like I said that. I said that. Oh, how hard I fell. I didn't know my Bible at all. At all. And in fact, I still have trouble. Now that I've read the Bible multiple times, I still have, I call them cobwebs of things where it wants to insert words into translations. Any other translation that's valid, that's not there, I'll just speak the word because I remember that.
There you go.
It's...
Wait, honey, are you okay?
Is she okay?
Yeah. You okay? Oh, she just knocked her knob down. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that in your head. She tipped over in the basket. Okay? Yeah, she's fine.
Okay.
She just scared me. Sorry.
You do. Don't be.
But I was gonna say too, because there's a question in the chat that says, quick question, is there another religion that a woman came up with because she didn't like something in the Bible? And yes, they have it right. Ellen G. White, Seventh-day Adventist. But I want to point something out really quick. There were multitudes, 3 of the biggest cults that we know in our modern day today, but there were multitudes of religions started around the exact same time, 1800s. Okay.
Well, it's the time of the Reformation was going on, and people don't really know about that.
Major ones such as Jehovah Witnesses, Mormons, Seventh-day Adventists, but there's many, many more, guys. But just to show you the demonic influence behind that. That's not a coincidence that all of these major, completely Christ taken out, remove his deity, replace them with man, right?
Such a
Kind
good
religions came out. So I just wanted to answer that really quick. But yeah.
Such a good point.
And yeah, she's okay, y'all. She's okay. She's
Oh,
scared.
sweetie.
Mommy got scared more than anything.
This one is rather interesting. Again, we're at the great part where we're talking about the rainbow, and this doesn't make me feel really happy because I'm focused in on the ark and the weird shapes in the clouds, and it just doesn't feel right. The rocks are off. The way they choose to shade, where they put light, where they put dark, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. It's all dark on top of this rock and it's all light around the edges. It just, there's no rhyme or reason. So it really, when I see those things, that's usually when I cue in and I go deeper, deeper, deeper. But I've already spent like so many hours on such images. I can't keep going deeper and deeper. But this just really blows my mind. Okay, so that's just the happy picture talking about the rainbow after the flood. And now you mirror it.
I see it. That's exactly where my eyes drawn. I'm getting better at this, Lori. Good job. They're teaching me.
This down here is a tear in my paper down in the middle. That's not them. But yeah, this image definitely appears. And then what does I'm really now thinking out of the box and thinking about how I was controlled all my life. And look at how the rainbows over the arcs. The arc represents the organization. So the control. And then you put the cloud behind it. Who's really controlling? That is not a picture about God and the beautiful rainbow that I would think of. This is dark. It's very dark. It's muted. It's just, this one is going the other way.
That looks like almost like a mouth, and like right there in the center, that larger.
Yeah, you see that one a lot. You see
Yeah.
that one a lot. And I think it's the way they draw rocks. And I don't know. It doesn't keep happening. But that is really, and I know there's more. I can feel it. These rocks are shaded. They're shaded off. They're shaded off. It doesn't work.
I was gonna say the weird color on the arc is strange to me. Like the
Yeah.
coloring,
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not adjusting. Where is that one? These are my pictures. I scanned them. So I'm not taking anyone's stuff. Look how, I don't know if you can see how muted that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not beautiful. This is all about the rainbow. This should be a good story. But no, we got burning goats and rainbows over boxes of organizations.
Wow.
Ugh. And was there one more in this one? I think so. Yeah, here's the last mirror.
Yes.
Now that one almost reminds me of like an all-seeing eye at the top. And I make out a face and a goat-like image. Why aren't we seeing human faces? That's what the mind usually looks for, or puppies, or other things. But they keep representing goats. I mean, I felt out of my mind until I learned about this stuff, and it's like, oh my goodness. And I'm not the first one to discover it. It's been talked about. It's been talked about, but they want to shame you. and call us the slanderers. And yet, we're all the victims. This is what you put in front of us. This is what traumatized us. This is what's left people anxious, fearful, depressed. Not just this book, the whole system. It's not the way God meant for you to learn about him or children to learn about him. Okay. Let's see. I had just a few more. Oh, this one is really strange. I mean, no lie. This is strange. Look at it for a minute. I'm sure you can see a lot of things in there. This is another one that it's like, okay, look at this. These 2 pages, color, black and white. Now, why did you have the need to put half a man over here? I don't care if it was trimming or what. But, and also the proportions of these men are way off. They're way off. And they've got the wrong tools. I mean, also, if you do want to talk about the other type of imagery, how is that oxtail and that smoke? What is that?
That's what I looked at.
What is that? And it's deliberate because he's got a rope here. If a rope were hanging, it wouldn't be straight like that. There would be some bend. It's like this is in the man, the chest, and the baby. Look at the baby too. I'm sorry. Men build a big tower and look at the child in the front. I don't think children were that's kind of put in our minds, There's just so much wrong. But look at the mirror. Wait, I want to show the other one first. Wait a minute. The mirrored man. I got it upside down. Huh.
Yeah.
Look like a W, a goat, worshipping hands. You could go any number of ways. It's not right. It is not right. That really bothered me.
For sure. Yeah. These are just.
And again, here's that triangular type of shape. But when you turn it, you can see the goat-like image I'm pointing like you can see my finger on the screen. But do you see the curly ears and then coming down to the triangular snout? I'm having so much trouble with my pen and I don't know why. I'm talking about right in.
Whoa, look at that.
Right about in here. See? And this too, these bright and the A's. Everything forms.
I was going to say that's what stuck out to me was the A's.
Yeah, the A's. But this is all so off.
Look, but hold on. Look. The bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those don't count 6, so maybe that's nothing. But okay, maybe don't take my word for nothing, y'all. I ain't no expert. I have to keep looking for stuff.
That page was hard. That page was hard to flatten out. So the curve, they really run off the page here, but they do meet up right here to form that V. So I don't know if the number means anything, but the shapes definitely fit too perfectly with a goat-like image in between, with this bright orange under this man. What are we doing? Is it burning under his feet? Why is that so astoundingly bright? It's an uncomfortable picture. It's a very uncomfortable picture.
Mm-mm-mm.
I mean, this one you could go either way. I didn't get this one perfectly lined up, but
I think the other one, the other way was better. Yeah.
I mean, I just try every way because it shocks me the one I least expect.
If you guys have not liked yet, will you go ahead and like the video as well as share, subscribe?
And I have like 3 more left, and that's probably enough for tonight.
Yeah.
All right, this is the other side of Men Build a Tower. So again, this one was all color. Now we're black and white. So again, there's anger. There's just. I mean, I know they're building Nimrod's tower, but why does this have to be in a children's book? Why? And in this context, look at the sharp edges and angles and the triangles again. All right, let's mirror it, because that gets really interesting.
There it is, right there. Unbelievable. I mean,
Right?
they don't even hide it.
Yeah, and then they'll say that we're spreading rumors. I'm just looking at what's there.
Literally in every picture, there's goat heads. Every picture. Tell me how you accidentally do that 100,000 times.
And then they gaslight you and say that that's not real. It's total gaslighting. You know, you feel anxious or whatever. Oh, you know, it's just you. This is in my blood. It's like, you know, I pray constantly to get rid of these fears and anxieties and triggers. It's just unbelievable.
I'll wait till you're done because I seen something
Go
else.
ahead. I'll go to the next one. Did you want to say something about this one?
Zoom in. Yeah, zoom in close to the center. Down. Yeah, it looks like those two guys are like forcing a guy to like an altar or something. That's what it looks like.
I didn't get it. You're right. I didn't get it totally matched up, but you're right. It does make a guy, and that does appear like an altar. You're absolutely right.
It just looks like he's a prisoner being taken to
you're right.
Document or something. I don't know.
You're right. And why
up there?
Why does this need to be in a children's book? I just it's full of triangles and just.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's up with the random triangle right there? That doesn't make any sense.
There's lots of them that show up throughout the book, all over. But the cloud is probably what I would have focused on as a child, going, that is really particularly upsetting. Now I see more in depth as I've come out of it, and now that I can reason it out, I can see things and go, oh, no wonder all these things were happening, and I was so fearful. And I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. I know there's many, many, many children that are now adults and thinking, oh my goodness. And the biggest thing is, don't be scared to come out. God is calling you out. Believe it or not, God is calling you out. This is false religion. It is the perfect lie. It absolutely is. This is Satan at one of his best. And it hurts to say that, because ones I love so much believe they have the right God? They don't. They don't. And yet, if we had an album that was like this, get rid of it.
Right.
Your Smurf, your troll, get rid of it. But we'll give you this Bible story book that we want you to read, and we'll put all that in there.
Right. Please, Jehovah, please him. So read our materials.
Yeah. It's all about publication. This guy was another edge of the pager,
Born JW.
which I thought was just interesting in that symbolism type of worship. And look at how, the hands, I don't know, they just bother me. It's the faces, everything about everything is just, is this what you want your children to just focus on? What's good here?
1, 2, 3, 4. You're good. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
And I even see, oh, I'm sorry, you were counting.
You're fine.
I even see the shape again. They'll say, you see goats and everything. I do now. Down here.
Yeah, but why are all their arms up like that? Do you see that?
I know.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 arms up. Bent up with a guy right there. Oh, like you can see me.
I feel like
the guy in the center of the page, 1. The lady next to him, 2. The guy behind her, 3. The woman right there, 4. The guy right here, 5. The other guy right behind him, 6. Well, I guess this is 7 if you count this guy. I really want to count this lady. Oh, you can't see me. The lady to the furthest left, because hers is kind of bent down. So 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And also notice the pillars. 1, 2, 3.
I counted those, yeah. 6. 1, 2, 3.
6 black, 6 white. Dark versus evil. That duality.
Mm-hmm.
And the triangles again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please. They'll say, but they're talking about Nimrod. That's why it's all there. No. Oh.
Yeah, it does look like Satan. Yeah, someone commented it looks like Satan. Yeah, look at that. Wow, that's crazy, right? Look at the eyes. No, that looks very human-like too. Like
that's
actually
putting the tops together. Yeah, that's just wrong. There's faces upon faces. It's so bizarre.
I think the other way was like,
yeah, I do too.
Like that is obvious right there. This is insane, Lori.
It's shocking, and believe me, this isn't something that it's like, oh, well, guess what I got? No, this is really hard to share. This is really hard to share. This is like a lot of our lives and like the innermost feelings and thoughts and things that we've all lived with for so long and not realizing it was part of a bigger picture. The indoctrination began really young, and that way you don't even really notice it anymore. It's like, we've never seen, if you were born and raised, you've never really seen a Christian Bible or a watch, I'll knock my camera over. Oh, I don't want to. Lori, you're gonna screw it up. We've never seen beautiful books. Can she do it? It was meant to be. I have never seen such beautiful illustration from, and really you can't mirror much of this stuff and get anything. But it's beautiful. This is the Jesus Bible story book. Okay, wait. Got too much going on here. And I'm not even running the chat. But I mean, it's just gorgeous. I
Yeah.
love how it's happy. It's just
Family, colors,
it's
bright.
beautiful. It's
Yeah.
pastels. It's just
Smiles.
really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not like this book. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this book is like right away fear. You know,
Right.
fear. And I talked about this image as God begins to make things. How in the world is that God begins to make things? That's crazy. All right. I think we're done with this one. Um, okay. I think two more. Oh, this one is crazy. Do you see anything?
So far, the difference in the light, how dark it is on the right-hand side, and then this random light is sticking out to me. Let me look close. Yeah, thank you. Down in the bottom right-hand corner of the picture.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Boy, they had to make the veins on the guy. I have veins like that, but jeepers. But this one I just mirrored one time because it's like, that's all you needed. Do I need to draw it out?
Mm-mm. No. Yes, baby. It's right there in his hands. Go a little closer for the audience who's watching on their cell phones, Lori.
Oh, goodness.
Make it a
I
little
don't
bit.
think you
There
would
you
ever
go.
see this detail.
Right there. Yep. I would say in the hand, go down even more. Right there. Look, the eyes, the nose,
Yep,
the horns, right there.
you're right. You're right. Oh, you could never pick this up on a cell phone. You really couldn't, I don't think.
I'm looking on my phone. You can see
Are
it.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, well, and not so good.
You can see it. And the one above it.
Mm-hmm. It just, that one took my breath away. But that's usually how they do it in the folds and the clothing, and it's repeated, and it's just
Peanut says in his jacket.
in his jacket. Wait, let me flip it.
Yeah, see, everybody's saying they can see it they're on their phone. They can see it.
I can.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
When you zoom in close, you can see it on the phone.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's faces, because there are images that have like a total face in the sleeve, which cannot happen. It just can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy how many images are hidden. But again, that's taking it to another level. I just want people to see that this isn't random. This isn't rumors. You feel the way you do for a reason. Maybe some of you will say, I never felt like that, which, could be.
Are you able to mirror that with the sky part
Yeah,
together?
yeah. I think I had done that, but let me quickly go. No, I'm too hot back here. My finger doesn't want to work. Ooh. Oops.
Do
Okay,
it.
a little bit of a bend in the page there.
Do
But
it the other way with the man facing the man. Can you do that or no?
yeah, I'm just trying to get the direction. Um, So you want, let's see. Facing. Now this picture got cropped, but
that's fine. There it is, right there.
Yeah, I had enough with the first one. Like,
yeah, look. Okay, so I keep acting like you can see my mouse. The two eyes on the farther darker part, and then towards the center of the page, the nostrils. There's the nostrils right there. The milky white.
And then take into account, I've got a page crease there.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to look at this more, but it kind of looks like something to me, but I could be overthinking it. But
well, you do start to get overthinking it because it's like, you start to question your sanity. But no, this is real. This is real. Okay. And this one I still remember so well because all I could see was this picture and that knife. And I know the story, but does your 2 or 3-year-old, what do they do with that story? Do they understand?
Right.
Oh. Why would you put this image in front of a child? Let's take out all the pagan things. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, this is not child material.
No. No. But yet, my book of Bible stories and his eyes.
Yeah, his eyes.
It's just upsetting. So upsetting and so sad. That alone, you don't even have to mirror that one. All right, that's mirroring the bottom.
Yeah, that's what stuck out to me right there. Now that looks super.
And it's always in a totem pole. As I'm looking at these images, it always has the pattern of the totem pole, which is very, it reminds me of going to like Polynesian resort in Disney, and it's all these totem poles everywhere. And that's like the first time I really noticed them, looking at them going, man, it's a lot of faces. I've never been to Hawaii, but I really noticed them there. And that's what this brings back to me is totem poles. That's what they look like.
Yeah, and Born a J Dub says, I already see a goat shape in the sun.
See, I'm afraid to even bring things up because it's like.
But look how realistic this one looks. At the top of this too, look, it looks like a sleeping animal, almost in a way. Like I don't know if you see what I'm talking about. But
Mom. I don't know why my pen's not working tonight. It clearly is something at the end. But I mean, there's just so much here. It's just not right. All right, let's flip the other way. This one, not so much. I didn't, you still got that angle, but I'm not even going to be super critical of that. But it's a lot of triangles again. And there is a goat-like shape that I can pick out in the rock, in the mouth at the bottom. And, little whatever that is. Just weird.
All right, there's your son right there.
Yeah. And when we first talked about that one, when we just happened to look at that one, I thought that can't be, that must be my fault. I thought, they actually put that little dot of that pink. It was too I questioned that. I'm like, wait a minute, did I do something? And I went back, and it's like, no, that's the original in the book. Oh, it's there. It's there. Why? There's so many different ways you could go with this one. And I'm sorry, if you mirror pictures, you don't have this many questions and this much. This is cognitive dissonance at its best. You don't have this much to sit there and contemplate and go, is this right? Or am I do a method called it's an art therapy method, which is called Zentangle. And so it's a lot of repeated drawing of shapes and patterns. And you would think I would get more images with these when I mirror these pieces. But not disturbingly, like the whole thing is off, unless you don't like this because it is different. But that's repeated patterns. This is supposed to be illustrative work, so it shouldn't be the same type of shape and same type of theme falling within every page now. Now we're to Lot's, only 15. We're to Lot's wife look back. In all these pictures so far, we have found questionable images. This isn't rumors. And then if you match the words up, and sometimes the scriptures, oh, that's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother thing.
It's scary, honestly. Not scary as in not like I'm scared, but scary that this is being programmed into millions of people's brains from the time that they could notice anything on a page. Even before then, not even notice. Pre-programming happens whether you realize it or not. I mean,
Well, I know that a family member would play the kingdom songs when she was pregnant on her stomach. I mean, we are really ingrained. We are born with this already. And my mom didn't do that. But, she fainted out in service. She was so hot. But it's absolutely, it's astounding. I mean, it's worshiping men. It's worshiping an organization. Who do you serve? You don't serve Jehovah. You serve the governing body that serve not the true God. Just say it. They're all in court not too long ago, the governing body members with the subpoenas. I mean, they're all being subpoenaed for, a case that, they don't talk about that. And then what did we see on the site today? That was big. Can I grab the site? There was something on the site today that was astounding. What was that? I think I sent
did you send? I was going to say, didn't you send it to me?
I sent it to you, and
Okay,
I thought that is amazing. If I pull up, yeah, I don't know if I could get to it too easily without losing.
No, hold on. I can.
Stop. It's on the front page, and then it's like 3 down under religion. Oh, I can use my phone.
Right here. Does God approve of the use of images in worship?
Yeah, that was. I'm like, oh, what? Go to that one.
Let me share this real quick. Hold on, y'all.
Oh my goodness. Talk about double speak. You're so mixed up. You don't know what to think.
Okay, can you see that?
Okay, I'm going to my home.
So it says, God is invisible, so how can we feel close to a God whom we cannot see? Would it help if we venerated physical objects as a means to feel closer to God? There's probably something in here too. Look.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, with the digital illustration, I could That's so easy. It definitely would
Hmm.
be there.
But then they have this video on here. Do they even have, let me see, I didn't even listen. Do they have, I don't see it on here. Because I watched the video. I didn't.
Look at crosses, and that's all wrong, and
Can you hear it if I hit play?
probably you could.
Can you hear it right now?
I don't know if you'll get. I can't hear it. I don't know if you'll get copyright.
Mm. Can you guys hear it?
I can't.
Okay, that's
I'm
fine.
looking at under that one. Why will all religions be destroyed? And I zoom in on that purple picture and that little girl, and she's forefront. I'm not mirroring these, and she's forefront. That one is. I clicked on something else. Will all religions be destroyed? What does the destruction of false religion mean for you? And I look at that little girl, and then the boy's smiling. It's like, is that the picture? You're going to be led out? Is that what you think? Yeah, there's protection from the day of wrath, but it's not what you think. You're not going to live through Armageddon. If you've got the right God, you're not going to be here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is a perfect lie. They take the scripture of the great multitude and they put them on earth. They're not on earth. If you read your Bibles, they're in heaven. They will come back to a new heavens and a new earth after the tribulation when Jesus rules on earth. But read your Bible, because you're out there looking up the app and you don't read any other publication. It's wrong.
Wow.
Multitude is in heaven. So where's the 144,000? They're on earth. At the time of the tribulation, they've got it all turned around. But yet, if you ask witnesses, that's a huge one. Well, who are the 144,000? And like, they've been filling up since the 1800s.
This is this should be a wake-up call for Christians to really start getting to know these other religions. I'm not talking about like, don't be like, oh, I love the, I want to get in their doctrine. I have to know their doctrine to know if I have the right God type of crap, right? No.
Right.
I mean, you need to understand the depths of how bad this is. So you start taking it more serious, because I think a lot of people would just think, well, they're just probably got like, oh, you can't drink coffee on a Wednesday kind
Yeah.
of rules.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
no. These places are incredibly demonic, and it is our job to go out and spread the good news, spread the actual truth. So everybody, if you're watching and you're one of those Christians that have a bad mindset with, just stick to talking to Christians. Don't get into hard topics. Don't get into any of these things. You know what? You need to. You need to have some courage. That God does not like a coward. You need to have some courage, because there's people like Lori, people like everybody who's in the chat, and people like who we're not even naming right now, who have seriously been scarred by this, guys. This wasn't just like a
No.
memory from when they were 5 and then they're
No.
just telling a story right now. This was traumatic experience, so much so to where a lot of these people literally have had to have therapy. And a lot of people have actually ended their lives early, unfortunately, because of things like this. And so we cannot have fear, because we just have, we got to get
Something
that away.
we do need to talk about and be honest, and that's what I would have never dreamed in a million years I could ever come out and say Jehovah's Witnesses definitely got it wrong. But after I read the Bible a couple times, I couldn't even conceive of how they thought they were right. So I think that's the biggest thing is come out and read your Bible.
There you go.
Just forget the publications, forget other religions, because you're too mixed up. You can't discern what's right. You need prayer, and you need the Bible, and you need to just start reading in context. Read Revelation, since you know it all so well. Read Revelation 1 through 22.
Mm-hmm.
And look at how things happen. It's not that complicated
Mm-hmm.
if you don't jump around. But if you jump around, you're cutting up all the pieces and you're saying, nope, the 144,000 are up here and the great multitude is down here and this is this class. And it's too much.
This is kind of just, well, Lori, I want to just personally say thank you.
No, thank you for doing this with me. I mean, truly, this helps me so much. To go through recording these and then trying to edit is just a nightmare. And I just thank you so much because this helps a lot. And it helps to not be alone and other people hearing their comments. And, you know, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for anyone out there suffering.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I'm really proud of you, Lori, because I know how hard this has been for you because, you do have your family in there, and so it's more personal to you, not just your choice that you made in life, but your family that's in it, and so I know that
And they were influenced too. You know, my mom was
right.
young. She was 12. I mean, I don't blame her. And she doesn't necessarily, oh, this pup, when it gets to be treat time, she doesn't come here.
Is that blue?
When she doesn't necessarily, I've tried to gently, you know, like last resort, you know, show her some of the really obvious ones. And it just blew my mind that she can't see that.
Mm-hmm.
But yet she can see a piece of lint on my shirt, but she can't see the demon in the governing body.
Oh
You
man,
know,
man.
that was so obvious, and I'm like blowing it up, going, I just, it's really sad. There's 8.5 million people. 8.5 million. There's a lot of pimos in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
Well,
lot.
explain really quick what that means for the audience. Just a super quick
A pimo
explanation. Yeah.
is permanently in, mentally out. And that's because they're trapped. Because if they leave, their whole life will fall apart. Their family won't talk to them. If they have a business, you know, a lot of witnesses support each other with businesses. Their business may crumble. If you're a child, you know, turning 18, where are you going to go? You know, you have to make a decision, because as soon as you tell your parents, I don't want to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you're out the door, you know, for most. But it's a very confined, trapped, hostage situation because they control your life.
Yeah.
You will be shut off from everyone you've ever known. My mom has been in this organization so long, all her best, dearest friends are there. So I really can't even imagine how hard that would be, you know?
Well, you know what? That's why, you know what, Laura, you gotta keep going. If you're watching on my channel, listen,
Here, stop.
please go subscribe. Again, the whole time her channel has been right here on the screen, Faith Outside the Watchtower. But in case you need me to say it again, Faith Outside
You might
the
not want to see
Watchtower.
any more of this.
Please go subscribe to her channel like right now. Also, if you have not liked the video yet, like, because we gotta get stuff like this out. I mean, there's enough clown videos out there and people showing their butts half naked on the internet that get likes and
Yeah.
whatnot. We gotta push this type of
Yeah.
content out there. Again, there's this eternity at stake.
It's
And
really important. It's
yeah,
really important, and
hi Blue.
it's scary, and I get so disheartened when I think there's 180 images, but I'm trying to make a point, and I am going to finish. I'm going to finish
Mm-hmm.
somehow. So, you know,
One,
please
step
true.
at a time. One step
Yeah.
at a time.
Yeah, exactly. The body can only handle so much in 1 week, but yet this is what we're fed daily.
Yep, exactly. Well, I want to say thank you. I
Thank
have
you,
really enjoyed tonight's live stream. I mean,
Knieshia. Thank you for doing this with me. Thank
thank
you.
you. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for doing this. And all the work that you put in. This is not just like 30 minutes work. You got to really study. You okay?
Oh,
It's her bedtime.
oh,
Honey, are you okay?
oh. Well, much love to everybody out there, and thank you for watching. And I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry.
It's dark. It's dark.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think we've had enough for one night, right?
For sure, for sure. Well, I love you, Lori. I'll talk
I
to
love
you.
you too.
I'll send you a message right after this because I don't think
Okay.
you got my private message at the beginning.
I
But
didn't
yeah,
know.
it's okay. No, 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 it's okay. But I love you, audience. God bless you guys.
Definitely. Much
Yeah,
love.
much love. See y'all later.
Bye. Oh, bye.